First tonight, a year into the war in Ukraine, Vladimir Putin is digging in his heels. Joe Biden and Putin each gave a landmark speech on the war's first anniversary. In his 2-hour speech, Putin announced Russia would suspend its nuclear arms treaty with the United States. He claimed America, France and the UK had nuclear weapons aimed at Russia.
I repeat, we are not withdrawing from the pact. No, we are suspending our participation. Western elites make no secret of their goal of inflicting, as they say, a strategic defeat to Russia. What does this mean for us? What is it? It means ending up with us once and for all. That is, they intend to transform a local conflict into a phase of global confrontation.
Quite simply, it was an outrageous speech full of propaganda, full of lies. It was an insight into the extreme censorship, the absurd worldview that Putin insists on perpetuating in Russia. He falsely claimed America had started the war in Ukraine. He accused the West of allowing the growth of Nazism in Germany in the 1930s, and then claimed that the same thing was happening now in Ukraine. Putin also falsely told Russians that pedophilia is totally normal in the West, and he complained about the legalization of same-sex marriage. He then said, addressing the Russians about his direction for the war in Ukraine, he said he was working on a revamp of military strategy. The NATO boss, Jens Stoltenberg, said it was clear from the speech that Putin is preparing for yet more war.
1 year since he launched the Russian invasion, we see no sign that President Putin is preparing for peace. On the contrary, as he made clear today, he is preparing for more war.
This is an analysis that defence and security analyst Peter Jennings agrees with. He says Putin has obviously given up on a quick victory, and he says there's no sense Russia is backing down. Jennings says Putin is locked into the fight for his own political purposes, his own ego, and we'll chat to Jennings about this a bit later on. There's also reports in the Wall Street Journal that Chinese President Xi Jinping is planning a rare trip to Moscow to meet with Putin in April or May. And remember, it was just a year ago that Biden threatened China with consequences if it provided material support to Russia, although Biden didn't quite go so far as to articulate what those consequences would be. In his speech overnight in Poland, Biden responded to Putin, saying the Russian president will not take our freedom.
And I'll repeat tonight what I said last year in the same place. A dictator bent on rebuilding an empire will never be able to ease the people's love of liberty. Brutality will never grind down the will of the free. And Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia. Never. Appetites of the autocrat cannot be appeased. They must be opposed. Autocrats only understand one word: no, no, no. No, you will not take my country. No, you will not take my freedom. No, you will not take my future.